Boys, and we're back. It's your AshMann's Working Man's Road to Glory. You know, we're here. It's Tuesday evening. We've got no rewards. Joking. I have a reward coming. I've got a common reward and I've also got a tier 3 reward. That's right, we made rewards. However, it is nearly 5:30 on a Tuesday evening. So rare, and I have no reward. It might be a £2 player to you, but it might as well be £200 to me. I want to know what I won, alright? So please give me my reward, man. Alright, however though, we've got lots to go through. As you can see, I've got all the tabs open, so we've got things to go through. A bit of structure to these videos at last. So, what I want you to do is, if you are new to this channel, support small-time YouTuber, trying to make it Hall of Fame to 1,000 subscribers. That's the dream. En route, it'd be nice if we could have a couple of extra subscribers once a week or once every couple of weeks, or maybe 5 a month. Let's set a small target. If you are new to the channel, all honesty though guys, you would be doing me the world of a favour if you basically went onto here, clicked my specific referring. You can click on anyone's, but if you clicked on mine, went into the market and went into manager sales, right here, right now, you can pick up 5 players. You get a free tier 2 player, and I get a free tier 2 player. If I remember correctly, this tier 2 is to the 2nd division, hypothetically like Bundesliga 2 or Championship in the English league, the EPL. So just depends on where you're from, but you get your 2nd reward. Now, if you do that, they're nice players. They could be 20 quid, 50 quid, 100 quid. Who knows? You just don't know, do you? So that is what I would like you to do. However, I want to get stuck straight into this video and talk about the whats, the buts, the maybes, the ifs, and every other thing that you can think of. Alright, so this is what happened to me. We're going to go into our results. This was the game week just gone. Yeah? So this is the game week here for game week #312 from the 7th to the 11th of October. We were 27 points away from a tier 3. Guys, I've been screwed 2 times in a row. 2 times. Lars Unestål last week and Davy Ruef this week. Both goalkeepers have both screwed me, because both didn't play on the weeks that I selected them for All-Star Limited. Can you believe that trash? Honestly, I buy 2 brand new goalkeepers and neither one are playing for me. It's an absolute joke. Now, I'm 27 points away. If he plays, and they won 4-0, and the goalkeeper that did play, Paul, whatever his name is, I used to have him and I sold him like 9 months ago. Basically, he got a clean sheet, so he got 60 odd points. You whap on 60 odd points, plus his accelerators and whatever else. I'm not saying I'd have gone into the tier 1 here, by no means, but I would have definitely have been a very high tier 3 or maybe a very small tier 2. However, that wasn't to be, was it? No, it wasn't to be. So it is what it is. We live and we learn. But these rest of these players, we had a goal line clearance, Teddy Tumer coming in clutch. Gerard Delafou left it right to the penultimate minutes, but managed to actually go ahead and get me that goal. Even though they lost 2-0, Bruges, the fact that he's got nearly 55 points with his accelerator over 55 points, and that's with a 2-0 loss. I've got to give my boy kudos. Bakasetas, we've only just brought him in for over £100. We stick him in first game week. He scores 80 odd points every single week. I'm thinking amazing. And what does he go ahead and get me? 50 points. And bear in mind, guys, he didn't have one. He had, I think, one single shot, if maybe none. He had maybe one or none on the entire 90 minutes of the match. I can't believe it. He just didn't show up, and it was just terrible. He got a yellow card, and you name it. If he got 80 odd points and 30 on top of that, that puts me in tier 3. If he gets his 80 odd points like he normally does, and the goalkeeper's in, I mean, we're talking again ifs, buts, and maybes. We're going into that tier 1 status, you know. So eventually this All-Star Limited is going to pay out for me. I'm just so close. Rare, I didn't make first ever time. I put it forward twice. Both times I've hit the 50 quid or the 45 quid, the top threshold. This time I didn't make it. 185. Kenneth Powell, who is basically one of the best players in the championship. He's a step above, a crop above everybody else. I don't want to say I found this guy because obviously people already had him on Sorare. However, when I got him, before the big YouTubers talked about him, which I've seen in the last week in the videos, everyone's now starting to talk about Kenneth Powell. I bought this guy like 3 weeks ago when, if you have a look, his price was literally 50%, if not 60% less than what it is now. So I got him when he just started having a couple of good games. I bought him, and then he's gone on a spree of, of a few games, some midweek games, which we've obviously not put him into. So I didn't say I found him, but I knew about this guy from doing a bit of research weeks ago. So, but yeah, they just didn't turn up my players. Demetrius, he normally always hits 45 to 55 points. He got 28 points of his accelerator. So this week was just a very unfortunate week. But I do want to talk about this All-Star Rare in general, which is one of these tabs up here. That's the next one. We move on. I was super unlucky. Look at this. I am 389th out of all the thousands of people that did this, which was, when you go on here, sometimes it doesn't actually show you the correct information on Sorare data. Excuse me. Excuse me, guys. Okay, so if I go to what is that? Come back here. All right, scroll down, quick. All right, common. So out of 99.9, so nearly out of 100,000 people, I came out 395, which is pretty special. Look at these guys, man. Brenner coming in with 106 points, 3 goals and assists for your boy. We've got Daniel Kazdag, another 3 goals. Sorry, guys. Oh, my days. I'm not actually unwell or something, but just, well, it must be either that or I've got a reaction or something. So, 3 goals and assists from your boy Brenner. We've got 3 goals and an assist for Daniel Kazdag. Obviously, I picked them boys. I can predict the future. You know it. You've seen it. The proof's in the pudding right there. Your boy don't hit 415 points if he doesn't know what he's doing. So I put these in. Conceded a goal. Had a shocking game. Look at that, 19 odd points from tier 3. Look at that, the first person got 56 points. That is it. He keeps a clean sheet and he gets an assist. Bang! I'm on podium, baby. I'm maybe even winning. Do you know what I mean? So top 3, top 5, who knows? But I might be coming in with something. That's the most I've ever got. What the hell? Ooh! Let's just keep riding out, guys. Keep riding out. Alright, Challenger, look at this, 0.49 to tier 3. Now, Kanair Erkin, I just want to say something here. This guy, as you're going to see right now, hits. It's just stats, you can't lie with proofs in the pudding there. Take this bad game week out. Look at this. This guy knows 7, 8, 9, 10 big actions. We have a look here. Even when he has poor games, he's hitting around the, let's say 50 mark. And if he's having a good game, he's hitting around 70. He's had a few 80s, a few 90s, 100. So, I mean, the guy can do it. But let's just say he normally hits around 50 to 70. Let's say that. So, we go back to here. Now, if he hits 50, I'm going in tier 2. He hits, let's say 70... 75, like he does pretty often. You've seen it. I'm hitting tier 1 right there. If he comes in, which he's only done 3 or 4 times ever in that 90-100 mark, I'm going in for star. But that's basically a fluky. The tier 1 though is pretty standard in, coming in just 50 points. Tier 2, tier 1 around that area is where I should have been looking. I was 0.49 away. This guy goes ahead and brings down someone, I believe, a handballer, brings someone down. It was a 9-goal thriller. He got 0 points. I mean, this guy could have just had a shocker and literally got a point. 1 point. And it would have got me a tier 3. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just absolutely unreal. unreal. Now this team, what's fluky about this, guys, is these were just, whenever I put Challenger Europe Limited or I put Champion Europe, these are just teams that basic them to, because you don't expect really to win anything because there's so many people going for it and the point threshold. However, I just threw these players in because there were players that just didn't have good lineups or anything, so I just put them in, and out of nowhere they actually come up with, with incredible scores, and they were the surprise team of the week. We're going to Champion America. We've got 4 points to Tier 2 Limited. Last night I went to bed thinking I've got a Tier 2. I wake up today, I'm getting a Tier 3. I don't think there would have been much difference, but sometimes you see yourself, people at the bottom threshold of Tier 3s get high Tier 3s, bottom Tier 2s sometimes get middle Tier 2s. It's not always, in generic order from highest to lowest. I've seen countless videos of other YouTubers where they'll go, well hang on, how's this? How come I'm finished 5 places above this guy or 7 places, but he's actually got a £100 better play than me or something like that. It's not always mathematically correct. So even though I would have been in bottom 2, bottom of Tier 2, I would have maybe expected to potentially get a fluky mid-tier Tier 2. You just don't know. But look at this. Again, are these the best players in Champion America? By far, no. You've got, but things just went against us, here. Higuain got injured and got taken off. Derek Etienne scores, and within 10 minutes of scoring gets injured. Midway into both games, they both get injured and both subbed out. They didn't even get to finish. They only played half the game. They played the other half. He potentially gets another assist or goal. He potentially scores. And then I'm talking another 50, 60 points. And then we're talking star player. Do you know what I mean? Like, if he assists or he just scores and he gets another assist, which it could have happened, bang. I'm on about just honestly, just fine markers can really change this whole Sorare. I could have been coming out this game week with multiple Tier 2s or 1s or stars, and it is what it is, but it's just getting to that point now where it's just, when you just, it's just annoying, man. And then Latmalin, I put him in, he only did 20 odd minutes in his last match, he's been injured for weeks and weeks and weeks. I thought I'd stick him in, hope that he plays. Not only did he play, but then he got himself a goal, 8 odd points. But again, he only got subbed after 60 odd minutes. He gets subbed out the game, which meant I got these 3 players, 2 injuries and a sub, all within 45 to 60 minutes. They all complete the games. I'm definitely 100% coming out with big rewards in here. I got done over. It is what it is. Asia, we'll forget about this. You can see all the zeros. Let's not talk about it. Tier 3 for Champion Europe. Well, let's not talk about it again. Let's just skip this. Kickoff Limited. Look at this, man. You got Diaby bringing up 2 assists and a goal. You're coming up clutch. My boy Hyung Suk Hong. Oh god, yeah, I'm such a kid, aren't I? Look at this. 156.7 points. I mean, just incredible. So these 2 guys here basically hitting me 250, 260 points. Just the 2 players. And then what happens here? Trent goes and gets injured right at the beginning of the match. If he stays for the whole time, I'm not saying he goes and scores 60 to 100 points, because it was against Arsenal, and Arsenal are on form and they're absolutely amazing at this particular point. But he would have at least got me another 20 odd points. I genuinely believe that, which meant I would have come out with Tier 3. Let's forget about these boys. But yes, again, it happens. But look at this. Just sometimes picking the perfect people. I could have easily put other people in here. But sometimes your gut instinct says, nah, And this is the thing, is sometimes you guys will have really good players, amazing players that you should be putting in. Any day of the week you put them in. But just certain lineups, you're going to put a player that scores sometimes, let's say he scores 30 on average and he scores 70 on average. You're thinking, oh, well, that player's got to go in. And most of the time you're right, but sometimes your gut instinct says, nah, I know when people see his lineups, they're going to go, why have you done that? You should have put him there, you should have changed that. But sometimes your gut instinct is right, just because I could have easily put Lewandowski or something in here, let's say. But does Lewandowski score more consistent than Diaby? 100%. On this particular game week, did Diaby thrash him in points? Yes. So it's not scientific, is it? You've just got to go with your gut instinct. Who's playing, what form they're in, what league they're in, the competition, how many minutes have they played recently, previously, are they potentially going to be playing, how did they go against that team previously? And this is what I say, knowledge is power. The longer you spend on your lineups, you know, the better you are. I mean, it is fluky sometimes, like as I said in the last lineup, having 2 injuries and somebody getting subbed off all within 45, 60 minutes. Nobody could have predicted that. So you're right, it is one of the things. But if you do really, really take the time to you know, do your research, I generally think you've got a massive chance of beating the bigger teams out there. Because sometimes it's the right players, not always the best players, but the right players for the right job. And I'm not saying like I'm perfect at it or anything. It's quite clearly I'm literally still winning on tier 3s, but I'm always this sniff away from always getting a potential big one. And sooner or later, these days are going to pay off, and when they do, I'll get, you know, the big star plays and stuff, and I will 100% get 2 or 3 stars. I genuinely believe that before now and June next year. I think I will get at least a couple of big stars, a couple of tier 1s, and a few tier 2s and 3s. It's definitely going to happen because we're investing money, we're investing time and energy. It's just sometimes when you get, like, say, you know, 2 or 3 weeks back to back and you're getting a couple of tier 3s, it is just like a kick in the sack while you're down, and you've just got to pick yourself up and think, go again. You know, eventually it's going to pay off. Moving on, I'm not going to do this Legends anymore because you guys tell me if I'm right or wrong, but only the top 3 people get rewards. Every time you click on here, it just says, yeah, no reward 4th, but it says 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. And when you go on to here and you have a look at rewards, it basically has the exact same thing. If I click on here and go on to prize pool, it should just say 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Is that correct, or is this just a mistake? Because if that is correct, then I don't want to be putting, look at these players that potentially could have gone in other lineups. So I'm just not going to do Legends. If I say I'm not going to do Legends, what I mean is when all my players have completely gone out and I've put them in all the teams that I want, if I have leftover players that I can just throw in, I'll do that. So I will always do the Legends. But what I'm saying is that I'm never going to ever prioritise it. Look at these big monster players I'm putting into a Legends where I have no chance of getting it. So I mean, I come 65th. So I did pretty well, but what I'm saying is I'm not going to do that any longer. Specialist Limited, where are we? 74 points. I was miles away from here. Nuno Santos finally came up with a goal out of nowhere in the last 90th minute or something. Kenneth Powell had a really bad game. Trimmel didn't play, and Lars Unestål eventually played after 2 weeks of having the guy, or a week of having him. He eventually plays, but he only gets me 30 odd points. Under 23s, these are just players. I bought this guy for like a £5 or something, £3, £4, just because I had every player who was going to play except this guy. So I just threw him in. Goalkeeper, I didn't have one, but I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not going to be buying in under 23 goalkeeper. These players are just rotational players who are under the age 23 that I just throw in. They'll never get in any sort of, you know, real starting lineups. This guy might, and this guy. These 3, no, but Gu, Bon, Chil, or Chol, and Jesus. Yes, these 2. Underdog Limited, where are we here? Oh yeah, well that one was miles away. Tier 2 was that, yeah, so I was nowhere near any of these ranks at all. But when you've got 2 players that, I mean, a player that doesn't play anyway, I mean, that's going to happen. Underdog Limited 45. We can't see Edwards score, but I believe he got something like 40 odd points in total, 50 odd points, or 50 odd points I think it was. So that's where we're currently at with this team, and was we a million miles away? We wasn't, but it doesn't really matter. So I think there was 2 or 3 teams where we could have potentially got big scores, but it is what it is. Now we'll get rid of this. Now a couple of things I wanted to discuss. Rare team. This rare team is about, well, it says 587. I've gone through every single player on the actual market, and I can see I actually would get over £600 for these players. This whole team, from start to finish, cost me around £300. I could sell the team now for £600. The reality is I bought this guy for £77. He's now going, it says 148, but he's actually going for around 175, 180 currently. So again, he's literally doubled in price. And then Kenneth Powell is, I bought him for £125, and now he's going for, it says 278, but he's actually going for around £300. So again, he's over double the price. So as these are now literally double the price, as you know, Sorare, they could dip at any point. They only have to have a couple of game weeks where they're really bad. They drop by 100 quid each or 50 quid each or whatever, and then I've lost money. Do you think it's now, for me, keep this all-star rare team moving forward for the foreseeable future and just purely improve it more than anything else? So, for example, get rid of maybe Mohamed El Hankouri, with maybe, you know, 50 quid extra from a couple of sales of players. For example, Candy is going for about 30 quid, and I also want to sell somebody else, which I'll show you in a second. So I probably could generate around 50 to 100 pounds in sales, plus 150, 75 quid for him, or whatever, 175. So with about 250 quid, do I go ahead and buy myself a good forward for about 250? That's going to get me some rewards, or more chance of getting rewards, more consistent. Or do I maybe keep him, sell a couple of players, sell both of these, and go for players that are more consistent? I don't know what I should do, guys. Do I just keep with the all rare team, or that's £600 with 600 quid? I could go buy myself an under 23s team, which I've already worked out would cost me around £500, and these are for under 23 players that play week in, week out. Not all of them have sort of midweek, but they all play once a week. I could go and for 600 quid go and buy myself a goalkeeper, 4 players, a couple of rotational players, and just throw them all in, and then actually have an under 23s. Or do I go for the threshold? I've played it 3 times. I've won, what, 90 quid, 245, so I won about £90 from that within sort of like a 3-week process. So let's say I get £100 a month from this team. If I get 150, 200 quid, brilliant. But let's say I get £100 a month, that's £1,000 every 10 months. I'd say £1,000 a year or something. Do you think it's really worth really keeping? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm enjoying putting the rare team out because it's different, it's new, and I do want to get into rares. But what I always wanted was, before I really got into rares properly, I wanted to make sure that I had like a super strong under 23s all-star, you know, and the other teams, you know, the Challenger. I wanted to make sure that I always had 5 or 6 amazing teams in limited. And whenever I got to that point where, you know, I had a couple of £1,000, £3,000 into the game, and my full limiteds, I could literally just field all incredible players and get them all out week in, week out. I would then move into the rare division and then start with rares, but have a solid foundation where I can have multiple limiteds out, and every single game week I feel confident they're not just random players, they're players specifically bought for that. So 4 Europe, 4 Challenge, All-Star, under 23, so on and so forwards. And that's what I'm just trying to think is, do I just prioritise the limiteds and make sure that I massively improve upon the limits that I've already got right now and make them even better? Or do I maybe just sell Kenneth Powell, who's going for, you know, 275, 300 quid, buy myself another defender for maybe £100, 150 quid, and spend the other money and go and buy myself something else? I don't know. Do I sell this team for £600, go and buy myself a goalkeeper for whatever it is, 300 quid, 350, put the rest of the money into rares? Obviously the rares won't be as good as I walk out now, but then I'll have a solid goalkeeper, and I'll have 4 rares, which I'll try and snipe or get a bit cheaper. I honestly don't know. I want your ideas on what you think I should do for the rares in general, because this team is a good team, but it's £600. I've literally doubled my money, which in Sorare is hard because everything's plummeting. So when you literally got 100% profit on this team, plus it's already made me up nearly £100 as well. Like, this team's doing well, and I just don't know. I'm stuck. I don't know what I want to do. This is a player that I'm thinking about going for. I have a couple of players currently on the transfer market, which is we've got Iago Aspas, which, you know, he's 35 years old. He's brilliant when he's on song, and he's had multiple cracking game weeks, but the last 2 or 3 weeks he's been off the boil, subbed and so on. 35, he isn't retiring, he's got another year or 2 in him, but he's eventually going to go on a decline, and while he's still going for around £50, you know, if he scores he goes back up to his 65, 70 quid like he was only a couple of weeks ago. So do I sell him and cut my losses at like 50 quid, sell Candias for 30, there's £80. With that £80, what I could go ahead and do is buy this guy who is going for around 80 quid right now. Now, he's 10 years younger. He does play as a forward. He is out of the Champion Europe and in the Challenger, which is what I'm concentrating on for this whole season. If you have a look here, 88%, 100%, 100%, but 55, 62, 70, he's getting better and better. He plays in multiple positions, from, you know, the right back, left midfield, centre midfield, right midfield, Centre attacking midfield. There's 4 or 5 positions he's played week in, week out, so he's obviously versatile. Even when he doesn't score, he's getting his general A is 20 odd points here, 26 odd points there, 27 points. He has ability to get 100 by getting a 44 AO and an assist. He went on a bit of a spree here. He plays 90 minutes virtually all matches. He plays midweek as well and plays on the weekend. He's ranked 173, 37th. For me, he's in the Champions League. If they get knocked out of the Champions League and they get progressed so far, he'll drop down, if I believe, to like the Europa League or something and work his way down. So he's still going to have week games. He's playing all the way again until the end of May, so on. And he plays for a respectable team. And if we even have a look, and obviously Pepe, I've been watching a lot of YouTube with him. I'll be honest, I've not seen him I've seen him once live or something when I logged into a game, but I've seen him a lot on YouTube. But as I said, Champions League, potentially going down to Europa League. We have a look, he's ranked nearly 60 points here. He is, ranked in the top 3 there. He's ranked in the top 4. Net decisives, ranked top 4. He plays the most minutes in the last 15 games. Top assists. What else can I say about him? Just looking at his sort of stats here. Takes the odd corner or something. We have a look at the last 5 games though, because the last 15 to 5 games is also improved. We have a look here. And he doesn't make there, but that means he must be somewhere here. 50 points. So, and again, we go on here. If you have a look, actually, the last 5, he doesn't really make top SO5 or all round. But as you can see yourself, he does historically have, very good AA anyway. Top minutes played, he's got to be in here. Yeah, there you go. He's ranked in there. No goals or assists in sort of top 5 here. And and top 4 for corners. So I'll be honest with you, in terms of and Porto, look where they are in the league. So they hardly concede, score, an awful lot of goals. I generally think this is the guy that I want to go for. I just think his last 15 stats obviously showcase his talent way more. Plus, we're also not looking in his league. If we do that, quite clearly, there we go. You can see he's actually now can't even get my words out. You can see how he changes his rank. So that was because they were taking into account all, everything, all of the things that he does. Guys, I can't even talk, honestly, my brain's just gone. So that's Pepe that I'm thinking about going for, and that will upgrade our attack and give us another option. He plays week in, week out. He has the ability to assist and score. He's had 11 goal contributions within the last year, and he's only going to get better, and he plays for a great team. So that is the guy that I'm generally thinking about going for. So there was another thing that we'd spoken about. In terms of game weeks, what we're going for this particular game week now, let's quickly go to it. That's live. So it is my results. So guys, we're already 27.5 minutes in. We spoke about my game week previously last week. We're talking about players that I want to buy now. With Pepe, we're on about the rare team, what we should do with the rare team long term, like should I get rid of them now? In terms of this week's fixtures, let's have a quick look. All-Star, now you're going to see, when we spoke about earlier about players, you put players in and they're star players that you normally, you spend an awful lot of money on, but they just don't have the great matchups. People will look from the outside eye and think, well, that's silly when you put the names and the teams together. But when you look at the actual, I spent an awful long time on this. Now, I believe these players will play, and I do believe, he might come off as a sub or start. I think he'll start. He might come off as a sub. He only played 45 minutes on the last game. These will play, and again, he might come off a sub. I just don't know, but if they do go the way I think they're going to go, we've got some very good lineups. As I say here, we've got Alkmaar, this one's going to be a great matchup for Danny DeWitt. These are Malmo they're going against. They're absolutely going to decimate him. I genuinely believe that. And Christopher Trimmel normally plays on the right wing. It can get bagged. He has great AA and he normally does bag an assist or something. Morales only scored a hat-trick less than a week ago against this exact same team, Austrian Vienna, and that was within 45 minutes are coming off the there. So I'm expecting something here. Dave Roof, my goalkeepers, I've just give up now. Will they play, not play? Honestly, I have no idea anymore. But it is just knacking me that goalkeepers, I specifically paid a lot of money on them. I've got multiple goalkeepers and none of them seem to bloody play. Casual league, we threw these in. Who am I confident about here? Upamecano, playing for Bayern Munich, they've conceded virtually no goals in the last 5-6 matches. Absolutely amazing. Van Dijk, and as a team, Liverpool doing terrible, but against Rangers, they absolutely bashed them to pieces a week ago. Casemiro's just coming off a cracking game with Man United, so he's going in there. And Lewandowski has been off the boil the last couple of weeks, not scoring or assisting any goals, but eventually he is Maralesca. You know, you're expecting a god on that field. I'm expecting goals. Inter Milan, you know, Italian teams by heart know how to defend. They're defending teams, but I'm hoping for something here. We go into Challenger. I'll be honest, guys, I just threw this squad. I say threw this squad together. We've got 2 players that aren't even playing full stop, so we're relying on 3. I won't get anything here, but they get more XP if they just play, and they're all guaranteed to play some minutes. And I generally think, actually, we've got, you know, they're not the best lineups. These don't have the best lineups, and that's why I put them into here. These 3 players are some of my best players, where you think they'd be going in this lineup, but I've sacrificed 1, 2, 3 and put in here. So quite clearly, you know, I'm changing it up this week. You know, as I said, you know, playing the smart game. Champion Europe, we just threw these players in because they get more XP. Do I expect to get anything from here? Not at all. And I don't think they've really got great lineups, you know, against this Sporting Club. They did a decimation job of like 4 goals or something, 4-1 or whatever it was. Borja Iglesias hasn't scored anything and he's gone off the boil. David Silva, his best days are behind him, and what can I say about him? He's not, you know, he assisted a scored or something a week ago, but that's the best he's done. And Hummels, who knows with Hummels? I want to sell him. I should have sold him when he was 60-70 quid like months ago. Now he's worth like a tenner. But for the sake of a tenner, just shove him in. Will he play? I have no idea and don't care. Kickoff limited. Diaby's just coming off an incredible game, so we're throwing him straight back into the Lions. Then Luis Abelto has just come off a cracking game as well, injury or whatever, and he's had a good game for Lazio, so he's going in. And I expect him to do a job there. This player, against last time he played, he actually came up with a cracking AA score and got 60 odd points or something. So I'm expecting, it is against Tottenham, I don't expect him to keep a clean sheet, but at the same time they did Frankfurt, is it? Yeah, Frankfurt did a cracking job. So, you know, this could do something, this could do damage. But then I say that, and then Fernandez today got subbed off within, you know, a short period of time, again 45, 50 minutes, 60 minutes maximum, 56 minutes, and he was off, and they got beat. So again, these all would have to do immaculate scores. Keep a clean sheet, you know, score a couple of goals, that sort of thing. Otherwise, we've got nothing here. Specialist limited, where we're going via Nuno Santos. I put him in. It's against a really hard game here in Marseille. It really is. Again, he's just had an absolutely best rating of all my players to date in all the time I played. Sorare, so I'm expecting him to come up trumps. And I put these players in just because the goalkeeper won't play, is injured, and these 2, they may play, and if they do, they're against Freiburg. I don't expect them to do anything there. And I don't expect Jesus. Honestly, this is just a throwaway squad, guys. Underdog limited, again, Derson hasn't been playing recently, but he's only 30 years old. He should be having more minutes, but they've got such a competitive squad and a lot of forwards, so I don't expect him to get too much with Fenerbahce, but hopefully he'll get some minutes, come off the bench. He only ever plays 45 to 60 minutes generally, but again, Trabzonspor have such a rotationary squad, and he only played, I think, 45, 50 minutes in the last game that I watched. So I expect him to come on, maybe do another 45, and he played really, really well. These 2 obviously won't count. He won't really play anyway, and Gubon Chil probably will play. I've captained him, so I think he's the only one who's guaranteed to start and get some points. So honestly, I don't have faith in any of these, barring maybe the common one, maybe the kickoff, if they all do well, the specialist maybe. Honestly, guys, this is just a throwaway for me. So that's where we are with everything. I don't really know if there's anything else to go through. We talked about my previous teams, talked about the teams I'm currently in. The rare, I put that question out to you guys. We talked about Pepe, that I want to go ahead and buy. I said I think he's around about £80 right now, maybe £82 or something when I looked this morning. Let's have a quick look at him now. He is, see what I mean, 93, 97, 63, a couple of games here. Bum 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 bum. Alright, here we go. There you go. I think we just saw £80 there, didn't we? Yeah. So yeah, 80 quid. And that's with 3.5. If I could buy him now for 3.5, I just would. Look at that. All these 1 points, 2 points. But can't do it, guys. I need to sell my players. If any of you guys listening want to buy some of my players, any of my players, any or all, just tell me. Obviously none of my best players, but if there's any mid-tier players, bottom players that you can buy for 10, 20, up to 50 quid, any players that I own around there, come and grab them. Come and tell me, and I'll give you them cheaper than any other player on the market at that second that's to buy. Just so I can basically get this Pepe, That's where we are with it all, guys. So I'm going to say arrivederci from me to you. You know the score. Please subscribe, like, comment, signed, we're sealed, we're delivered, and we're out of here.